What's going on, guys? Justin Fuller here, and today I'm at Jacky, Jones, Ford, and Lincoln out here in Sweetwater, Tennessee. And we're getting them set up to start tracking their keys in their cars using TrueSpot's Lot Management 360 tool. So let's hop on in and show you how we do it. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to need to do if you want to start tracking your keys and your cars on your campus is to set up a network. And this network is going to consist of a few different things. The first being these solar-powered gateways, right? These hold about 2 months worth of charge. They don't require any power lines or anything like that. And this is going to allow you to see those keys and cars as they float around in the building. You can actually see one up on the pole right over here behind me. Now, that's what we're going to be using on the outside. Now, on the inside of buildings, inside of service space, and everything like that, we're going to use these interior gateways, about the size of half a deck of cards. This is going to allow you to see those keys in those cars as they float around inside the building. Now, all of these are going to talk to a base station, which is a lot like a wireless router, and that's going to hold the data points so that you can see where your keys and your cars are at any time. All right, guys, so let's talk about the hardware that Jacky, Jones, Ford, and Lincoln is going to be using to track their keys in their cars. So first off, I want to talk about their keys. They're going to be using these small triangle tags, right? And this is going to allow them to track their keys anywhere on the campus. So whether it's somewhere in a desk, it's on their pegboard, over in service, out on the lot, right? So anywhere a key that might end up, they're going to be able to see it. So this is going to allow them to track their keys, right? And on the back of this, you're going to see a QR code, and I'll explain a little bit more about this when we hop into the phone app next. Now, secondarily, they're going to be using something different to track their vehicles. Now, I offer typical tags that allow you to track vehicles on campus, and I even offer motion sensing tags. Now, they've chosen to use our OBD2 devices. This is going to allow them to track these vehicles not only on the campus, but additionally off the campus. Now, to add on top of that, they're going to be using our True Recon vehicle reconditioning tool, which is going to allow them to use this to track those vehicles as they move through each step of that process, then providing them with the information to know how long is a car spending in each step, how long is it taking to get through my entire recon process, so they can turn that inventory faster. All right, guys, so here we are on the phone app, and I just want to show you how this works as far as running a search to find your keys and find your cars. And then, of course, the second part to that is how do I connect up my tags, whether it be these key tags or maybe if it's the OBD2s, to start tracking the vehicles, right? So the first part to this I want to show you is finding a key and finding a car, because let's be honest, that's 90% of your guys, right? That's going to be your sales staff, your lot porters, your inventory managers, anybody who needs to walk around and find a car, right? A service tech, mechanic, whoever that may be. So this very first button is what we're going to use up here. This is find a key and find a car. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now from here, I can run a search. I can type in a stock number, a VIN, a partial of any of those. I can even search by year, make, and model, right? So when I'm in here, and I'll point out that this search that you're seeing down here is only going to show you vehicles that live in your actual inventory, right? So it's not going to show you, 13 different things that you don't even have, like a Ferrari, obviously if you don't sell Ferraris, right? So it makes life a lot easier when you're running these searches. Now, for the sake of this, let's pretend that we were searching for this 2021 BMW X3, this very first vehicle. So the first thing I'll point out is you can see that there's a car icon and a key icon down here, letting you know that the car has obviously been tagged, and they are tagging that using, of course, those OBD2 devices that we talked about here, and then the key has been tagged with the key tag, right? So if you were tracking a secondary key, you would see a secondary key there as well. So know that you can track, more than one item connected to a car. So I go ahead and select on the car, right? Now from there, it immediately pulls up and it's going to show me where the vehicle is living on the map, right? So I can see where it's living, and it's going to tell me it's out on the front line, which I can see in relation to the building. And then if I touch the next button, it jumps to the key, right? And the key is on the pegboard right now. So this way, if I greet somebody at the front door, I know the car's sitting out front, keys on the pegboard, I can move through this process a lot quicker, right? Now, in here, there's some additional information. I have all this in the about where it's pulling across from your inventory feed. So if I'm standing there with a customer that said, hey, I saw a BMW on your website, I could search out BMWs and go, hey, was it this white one right here? I've got a 2021. Maybe it was priced around, 52 or whatever it is, so that you can kind of walk them through that quickly. And if they asked about other cars, well, I might have, 6 BMWs. So I could say, well, I got 3 of them out here. Let's go look at them all together. Maybe you'll like one, right? So just know that you have that section to work through. Obviously, the location that we mentioned. Notes, this is where you could drop in something. So, hey, if I saw that there was a gash on the side of a car, or, hey, we were sending this out to another dealership for a recall, I might want to drop in a note. Maybe it needs service work, so we're going to put something in here. This is just kind of reminders internally for us to know as sales staff, sales managers, anybody who might need to see something, right? So just good to know. And then that last tab is where you can see what's tagged or add additional tags, right? So if you need to remove a tag or add a tag, this is where you would do so.
So just one of the spots you can. Now, I want to run a search for a vehicle that I know isn't on campus since these guys are using their OBD2 devices with us. This 2018 Dodge Ram, right? So if I click on this vehicle, one, it's going to show me where this car is, and this car is actually sitting over at a Dodge dealership. So I'm guessing there might have been a recall or some work that they were getting done, but it's showing me where it's at, right? Because in relation, if I zoom way on out here, my key is living way down here, you can see, right? And I don't have to zoom out to find it. I can just jump to the next button. Boom, it'll take me right to where that is. So one of the keys is obviously even in the used car manager's office right now. My guess is they took the additional key, sent that car over to get whatever work it needed to get done at that Dodge dealership, or Ram, I should say. So very nice that I can see that. So if the car's out on a test drive, I could jump over and see where the car is at, or if it's parked somewhere. It gives me a little bit better control and allows me to manage my assets. So those OBD2 devices are going to be super helpful as far as tracking your cars on the campus, but then off campus as well. So this is just a good way to do this. Now, from the app, a couple of things that we'll show you here real quick. Vehicle location is kind of cool in this sense because as a manager, I want to be able to pull this up on my phone and say, hey, well, how many cars do I have sitting where? Well, at any given point, I can jump over to categories, which would be off-premise. So for the sake of that, that'd be any vehicles that have left the lot. Boom, I get a list of here of any of the vehicles that are currently on the lot. So I would know that these are either being test drive or there's something going on specifically with these vehicles. Right, so very easy to manage and understand where your assets are. Even from the app, you can do this, right? Now, that's the first part of just, hey, I just need to run searches. Now, the secondary part is, hey, I need to connect the tag to a specific car. Now, as far as the OBD2 devices, it's really easy. All you got to do is plug it in, turn on the car, let it run for about 1 minute. Boom, it's now tracking the vehicle. It will pull across the VIN, the stock number, all of that information automatically. So very easy to do. The key, though, going to take a little bit of extra work. So for the sake of this one, let's say it was this 2016 Ford Edge right here. I've got a key button to tag a key, car button to tag a car. Very easy to do. Like I said, for the car, you're not even going to have to do that. The minute you plug this in, it will automatically connect up to the car and start tracking it. Now, the key-wise, I would just simply select that key button. And then in here on the back of the key, I have these, QR reader that you can hit, that QR code, or you can hit in those numbers. I don't like doing the numbers. I wouldn't recommend it just because you risk that human error. But I could hit that QR reader, simply grab my tag here, come across, scan it, boom, connect it up. We're good to go, right? So at that point, all I had to do was plug an OBD2 in, whether it's into a device, or excuse me, in a car that already lives in my inventory feed or doesn't, right? If it did live in my inventory feed, it would populate the information you're seeing here, that VIN and all of that, and then boom, I can connect the key up to it, right? So this is great for these guys in the sense that I can literally sell a car, pull the OBD2 device out, pull the key tag off, and then connect them up to that trade so that the minute we take that car in and it becomes ours, we're now tracking the key and the car anywhere it goes. So as it moves through their recon process, right? They'll be able to see exactly where the keys and cars are, and they'll be able to manage that because they're using TrueRecon, our recon management software also, right? So just some different things that you can do. So that's what the app looks like. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. So now that you understand how to, of course, search out your keys and cars and tag them, let's jump over to the desktop dashboard because I want to show you how some upper level management can use this tool as far as, opening duties, closing duties, inventory managers, sales managers, managing the lot, thinking about things like floor audits and stuff like that. So let's hop into that and we'll go over that. All right, guys, so here we are on the desktop dashboard, and I just want to walk you through a few kind of upper-level management things that you can do outside of the norms, right? I still have everything over here on the left to run those same searches, so searching by stock number, VIN, year, make, and model, all of kind of those things, and I'll touch a little bit more on some different searches you can run here in a minute. But I want to point out some things. First off, I want to show you what these tiles are across the top up here. So these are going to list out what you have tagged versus what you don't have tagged, right? So right now, pre-owned keys, they've got 50 out of the 72 tags, so 22 remaining. What's cool about this is I can click on that 22, it'll present me with that list over here. So not only can I see what's tagged, I can see what isn't tagged as well, and that's due to us tying into your inventory feed, right? So I can see this list of, hey, I've got pre-owned keys that are untagged. I'm gonna turn my map off for a second, because the way you can use this once you're kind of up and going, now these guys are just getting started, so they're still finishing up their tags, but I can jump over here and filter by the amount of days the vehicle's been in inventory. So if I'm managing this process, I can look at here and go, hey, I've got cars that are 50, 40, 30 days old that for some reason the keys aren't tagged. What's going on with them, right? So I can manage this process very quickly and start to understand, hey, if I've got 22 that are untagged, well, if they're all less than 5 days old, we might know what's going on with them. But when I get to these older age units, why don't I click on this, see if there's any notes, something related to it, why we haven't tagged it? Is it related to some sort of pre-sold vehicle? Is it something related to a recall? We're waiting on a part. What's going on with this car that's causing that, right? So very easy to manage, right? So that's my pre-owned keys. I have new keys right here separated out, and then my inventory, right? So pre-owned inventory and then new inventory. Same thing, I can jump through here and see what's tagged versus what isn't tagged when I'm looking, right? So it makes it very easy to manage and understand. Now, across this inventory, kind of partitioned out up here, this is going to show you where vehicles are living. So right now I've got one vehicle in service. I can click on it, boom, it's going to tell me what vehicle that is. So this is kind of good in the sense that, hey, if I do have, 6 vehicles are in service, well, maybe I want to export this list and ask about them, right? Well, I can do that too, right? I would come in here and just go to this export over here on the far left. Click this, create an Excel sheet, shoot it over and go, maybe to the service manager. Hey, you got these 5, 6 cars, whatever it may be. Just want to see if you're done with those yet so I can get them retail ready, get them going, right? Or is there a catch to them? Is there a note on them so that you can start kind of figuring out what's going on so that you can move these cars around? So 1, obviously good to know that you can create these lists and you can of course export them, but then 2, going to be very helpful in that sense of, hey, I want to make sure that I'm using this the best way to make sure everything's getting tagged correctly. Everything's getting done as it needs to. So going to help you as you move around, right? Okay, so up here, you've got all your different locations, uncategorized. That's going to allow me to jump, much like I showed you earlier, to those 4 vehicles that are currently living off the campus. I believe we looked at this RAM right here, so I could click into this one. Obviously, it'll show me, boom, where's the car living on the map, and then boom, where's the key living, and it's telling me over here too, right, off premise, and then, one of the keys is at, Scott's office right now, right? So my guess is a spare that isn't tagged is with this vehicle, just so we can kind of manage and understand where we're at. Right, so easy enough to understand what I'm looking through here and creating these filters and searches. Now, as you move across here, locations of keys, we already talked about that. I'm going to jump one more across here. This is where things start to get really cool. The first is photo status. So you can set this up to whatever threshold you want to show what vehicles have photos and which ones don't. So if you use an outsourced guy, really helpful in the sense that, 1, he can click on this and say, hey, I've got 26 remaining cars that need photos. I can click into each one and see, hey, where's the car sitting at? Let me go down to the map. Where's the key at? Oh, okay, key's in the Northwest Bay of Service, and the car's in the intake area, right? I mean, that's about as easy as you can make it for a guy who can use his phone to walk around, find those cars, get those pictures taken, because we can all agree that used car-wise, if you don't have photos up, the chances of you selling that car become much slimmer than if there are photos up, right? So not only can you use this to help out your own staff, but any of those third parties, like, a photo booth guy or anything like that, you can manage them as well. Now, up here, you'll see manual entries. This is going to be those items that don't currently live in inventory feed. So if you wanted to do something like, I don't know, maybe a jump box, a golf cart key, something that doesn't normally live in the feed, this is where those items would live. And over here, let's say I was doing a jump box, right? I would just, hit jump box, come up here, type in, it says, hey, this doesn't live in the feed. Go ahead and hit add, and then I can connect up the tags, much how you saw on the phone. I'd recommend typically doing this with your phones, just because it's easier and you can scan those QR codes, right? So if I want to, if I want to track something that doesn't live in the inventory feed, like an iPad, a jump box, golf cart, temp tag, whatever it may be, this is how you could do it, right? So easy enough to understand from that aspect. Now, moving back across up here, days in inventory, very powerful tool, right? I want to see all my cars that are 60 to 80, 89 days old. So 1, it'll show me where they're listed at here, but 2, I can turn on my pins and see where all of those cars are sitting so that, hey, if they are old age, can I get them out by the road, which is where they have theirs, or can I put them right in front of the building? Can I move these cars somewhere to where I can make them more appealing or more viewed, right? Because I want to get these cars off the lot. So a very easy way you can do that, right here, it gives you them all sorted out so you can see not only how many you have, but where they're located on the lot. So very helpful tool. Now, with this said, I will say that a different way you can apply this is I'm going to turn this feature off for a second. If I had a particular incentive running, right? And related to, maybe a Ford F-150 or whatever it may be, right, for the sake of the dealership, I could come in here as an inventory manager or sales manager and go, all right, well, I want to go to my Ford F-150s, right? So let me run this search, and I want to see where multiple types of one vehicle are at a given time, right? So if I jumped on this and I had all these cars, right, from here I can turn on the pins and go, okay, well, I've got this incentive run on all my F-150s, so I want to make sure they're all lined up together with hang tags in them, or I want to put them right all out in front of the building because I can make higher grosses off them, and I want to push those cars this month. Well, this is a different way you can use this tool. Instead of having, a lot porter walk around and write down, the stock numbers and then see where they are and then have to go back and get the keys and then move all the cars, well, now I can immediately go, okay, well, all of them are sitting up here except this one. Boom. We'll grab this stock number guy, go move this car over there with the rest of the bunch. Let's put these hang tags in them. You'll know where all of them are at, and we'll get moving. I just made my lot porter's life and my inventory manager's, job here take less than an entire day, if not more, trying to move cars around a lot when they can see all of them at a given time, right? So very useful tool, right? So just so you understand how that works. Now, last sightings, inventory-wise, these guys aren't really going to have to worry about that because they are using those OBD2 devices. But if you weren't, you could see, hey, I've got 7 cars that we haven't seen on the lot in the last X amount of time. This is where I could set up, either come in here and check this each morning if I was using the normal tags, or I could come to the back office. So user account, pick a person, missing vehicle alerts, select the tab, and now they'll get an email of these cars each morning. So great if I'm the opening manager. Why not have a list of cars that I could check on, right? Doesn't really apply to these guys because they're using the OBD2 device to get around that. They can track them on and off campus. But if you weren't, you were just using our standard tag, well then, maybe you want to set those up. So different ways you can use this tool, right? So that's a great for like an opening duty for a sales manager, just checking on inventory, making sure things are where they're supposed to be. If we loaned it out, there's some sort of note or something connected in the profile. Because I want to be able to jump into one of these and go, okay, do we leave a note? Oh, it's over at such and such for a recall, or oh, we loaned it out overnight on this date, or whatever. It says we kind of know what's going on specifically with this car, right? Now, I want to flip around and talk to you about doing this at closing duties, how you can apply this tool. Well, right now I'm looking at, all my assets as far as vehicles. Well, if I jump over to keys, now I can turn these pins on, and I can see where every single key is on the campus, right? So at the end of a given night, I can pull this up and go, all right, let me manage every single key, every asset that I have and go, okay, well, I've got this key that shows to be out there. So boom, okay, this car, maybe this key got dropped. Maybe it got left in a car out there because somebody was showing more than one car, or maybe it got dropped out on the lot. I grab a sales guy and go, hey, put the stock number and go out there and find that key for me, right? And he could go out there, hunt down that key, get on the map, and then hit the, find a key or car button, and it'll walk him right up to it. So ways that I can apply this, right? If I have any of these outliers that are living out here, I can figure out what's going on with them and send somebody to go get them at the end of the night. So we're making sure every key makes it back into the building at the end of the night, right? So great for opening and closing duties for managers, different ways I can apply this tool and use it. All right, guys, so that's a quick rundown of the Lot Management 360 tool, specifically out at Jacky, Jones, Ford, and Lincoln in Sweetwater, Tennessee. Special thank you goes out to those guys, right? If you want to learn a little bit more about this for your store, whether it be talking about lot management, or I know I talked a little bit about a recon tool, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. And also a reminder, guys, we offer the ability to track your keys and cars through your fixed ops department, right? So your service department. Outside of that, just a reminder, Jacky Jones was using the standard key tags, and they are using the OBD2 devices to track their keys and their cars being on and off campus. I do offer the ability to track your cars just simply on campus if that's something you want to look into, and I offer these with motion sensing too, in case theft is an issue out at your store. Other than that, at the end of this video, I will throw up a couple different video links so you can check out Recon if you want to learn a bit more about it. I will also throw something so you can learn a bit about more lot management. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me. All of my info will be at the end of this and in the description as well. You can give me a call, a text, an email, and of course, I'll put my calendar link if you want to set up a demo so we can talk about your store and get you some pricing. Other than that, appreciate you tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Later, guys!